A reading from the Gospel according to Mark. It was 2 days before the Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. The chief priests and the scribes were looking for a way to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him, for they said, "Not during the festival, or there may be a riot among the people." While he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very costly ointment of nard. She broke open the jar and poured the ointment on his head. But some were there who said to one another in anger, "Why was the ointment wasted in this way? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii, and the money given to the poor." And they scolded her. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has performed a good service for me. For you will always have the poor with you, and you can show kindness to them whenever you wish, but you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for its burial. Truly, I tell you, wherever the good news is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her." Then Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went to the chief priests in order to betray him to them. And when they heard it, they were greatly pleased and promised to give him money. So he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. The word of the Lord. Hearing this story makes me think about the defining, the refining effect that death and mortality have in our lives. You see, in this story, we are already at the point Jesus has entered into Jerusalem and he's going to be killed. And the people who will kill him already know they're going to do it. They're looking for a way, just the right opportunity. And so in their minds, Jesus is already a dead man. He is a dead man walking, as they say. And they know it. But they think Jesus doesn't know it. What happens in this story that probably surprises them all is when he is being anointed for his burial in this way. Jesus reveals to them that he actually knows that he is a dead man walking as well. But you see, what they don't understand is while they think that this means the end of him, the end of his story, what Jesus knows is that yes, he will die, but that's not going to be the end of his story. And indeed, it was not. But what he does point out is that his death will have the ability to clarify, to refine, to define for the people who love him what they are called to be in this world. Mary, in this case, it demonstrates to them that she recognizes the changing capacity of Jesus' death in her life. He points out that they will always have the poor with them and that they can take care of the poor whenever they wish. And the legends, of course, go on to say that that's exactly what Jesus' disciples and the apostles did. They went out and loved and cared for and nurtured and taught and healed people who were poor and hurt and alone and unloved everywhere. Why did they do that? Because Jesus' death changed their lives. It defined who they were. Rather than being the end of their story, it was the beginning of a brand new story. So we're walking this Holy Week with Jesus. And this Monday, this is just the first step in that process as we walk through this week with Jesus. And we know that he will die, and we know that's not the end of his story. What does it mean for us after we get to the other side of this Holy Week? To not let that be the end of the story for us either. May we remember who we are called to be. May his death be a reminder to us of the precious time we have in this life and who we are called to be to one another in the time that we have. So that in the end, when we reach our own inevitable deaths, it's not something to fear, or bemoan as a loss, but rather an opportunity for us to be able to reflect and say, this is how we got to spend our lives. And wasn't it a blessing to us? Let us go out and be a blessing to one another.